This is the final version of the RC-TNT HT Feather. It's a bolt-on chassis that I've designed for the Axial Capra UTB18. You need 8 8mm M3 screws and 8 18mm M3 screws, and that is it. You print your own 4mm spacers. The left side, you print the right side. The right side comes with shelving as well. But the beauty of this is that the skid is 7 degrees forward. It improves your center of gravity. It lops about 100 grams off the default Axial Capra UTB18. And best of all, I've made this available for free for you to print. Go to RC-TNT.com to download it. Go to downloadable files and you'll see the latest version in there. Well, hang on, we can't just talk about this thing. We've got to put it on the 6 problems. I can't do an RC-TNT product and then not actually test it the RC-TNT way, can I? Don't know what I was thinking. Alright. Now, there are some little holes here for the cable tie that holds your little strip of elastic on, and that way it doesn't fall out every time you try and change the battery. Alright. Okay. Believe it or not, this is my first time driving this on the 6 problems with this chassis. Let's give it a go. Problem 1. These are DIY tyres. They're made from bigger pin tyres and Proline iron flat irons for the sidewalls. There's problem 1. Straight into problem 2. We've also got overdrive in the front portals and in the front diff, and standard drive in the rear. Very composed. Continuing into problem 3. I have no idea what the best lines will be for this. I'm just kind of making it up as we go. We've got the angled forward skid that I've designed onto this chassis, which should give us an advantage, but I also really need to think about where I'm going to place wheels. There we go. Now these are the stock axles as well. I actually quite like these axles. We're running brass just in the front, not in the rear. Problem 4. We're also running the WP5323LV high voltage cheap servo from JX Servo. I'll put links to all this in the description. They're the default shocks, but they're inverted per the instructions for this little kit. I'm running the Surpass Hobbies El Cheapo motor. We did a video about that not long ago. And it's a Mamba Micro ESC. There you go. Now the skid just clears that. I had a problem with that with the stock setup, but because it's angled forward, happy days. The wheels are a simple acrylic laser cut, I think. Beadlock, so ultra light. They're actually from my old Mini. And the radio is the FlySky GT5 and a very cheap FS A3 receiver, and that's, I think, everything. I'm running on a little 3S LiPo. Come on, there we go, there we go. I'm not even really planning this, I'm just crouching behind the camera here with you in the beautiful afternoon sun. And me playing with the camera means I made a bad decision there. Sorry, I wouldn't usually have done that. I'll just line that up. I do make mistakes when I'm on camera because I'm trying to watch the actual screen, the framing as well. Alright, there we go. That's the line I should have taken. I just turned too early. Looks good, doesn't it? And finally, problem 6. So to build this kit, you need very little. You just need the you need flat or button head hex screws, M3 size. You need 8 8mm and 8 18mm. The panels are attached with their default screws, and everything else is stock UTB18 for fitment. I've spaced this thing so that it fits the stock motor as well. You don't have to add the panels if you don't want. And oh boy, this seems so much nicer now. I'm competitive with this. Oh yeah. Ever since I blew the axles on my last Mini, I've been at a bit of a loss as to what to do. I was excited, you might remember when I did the UTB18 review, I said, could this reignite the Mini class? And from what I've seen locally, it has done exactly that. Follow the instructions. I'm giving this thing away. All I ask is that you sign up to my email list when you do it, and then yeah, you bolt this thing on and you get that beautiful 7-degree angled skid. You lop off a bunch of weight, about 100 grams, and the original body's about 160 something, 164 grams or something like that. Dimensions remain the same, axles remain the same, links remain the same, drive shafts, the whole thing. And you don't need to go and buy a bunch of the expensive alloy stuff. Look, I'm still using the stock plastic upper links, the stock lower links, the stock plastic drive shafts. The stock shocks, I do recommend you invert them. It gets the weight down a bit lower. Really the only secret sauce you need is a little bit of brass up front, overdrive in the portals and in the diff, and I guess DIY pin tires are very nice, but you can also run, I think that the trenches in Predator would actually go really well. They're somewhat similar to pins in type. That's how we do a Mini. I'm going to take this as it is to ECCF next year in April up north, and I actually feel competitive once again. I wasn't competitive in March this year because I didn't have a Mini I could drive. I had these axles underneath my old chassis. It was just a mess. But this, oh boy, I'm excited. So this is my Mini. I know I just did a video on it, but now it's actually in its final form. RC-TNT.com for the files. Please just sign up to my email, my mailing list. That's all I ask. It's free. It's all on my website, RC-TNT.com. And maybe throw me a like too if you got something out of this. Oh, and if you don't have a 3D printer, I'm gonna make it available to you to buy and download. I'll do it through Shapeways. I'll keep it cheap. Like, I'm not trying to make $1 out of this thing. I'm just excited to share it with you, and I hope you get something out of it. Stock electronics will work with this thing. You don't need to go and break the bank. Start with the chassis, see what you think. I'm quite sure you'll like it. Thanks, guys.